Hey guys, you're watching Fishing with Gary. We decided to come up here right after Labor Day and see if there's any bass left after the hordes of people tore this lake up. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of jig fishing. All right, let me show you what I use. I'm using a medium fast action pole, Johnny Morris and reel, 12-pound test fluorocarbon. I'm going to show you that I'm going to use a tungsten and I'm going to rig this Texas rigged. All right, so this way we're not going to get caught very much. Basically, it's just like threading on a worm. Exactly. Put it through 3/16 of an inch on the top of the Yamamoto. Stick your tail in there. But I'm going to go ahead and try something different. Since I dipped my brush hogs, my baby brush hogs, I'm going to dip the tail of this. See if that makes a difference. It's been making a big difference. So we're just going to stick it in there. You don't want a whole lot. You just want a little bit. By little, I mean just 3/16 or no more than 1/4 of an inch. Just like that. That's about what it is. So I'm not pegging the sinker. I have a quarter ounce weight on there. Kind of drifting off, and I already see some fish on the graph right here. So that's a good place to start. Let's just start right here. I see a bunch of fish down there. So this is just a green pumpkin jig is all I'm doing. And excuse the wind if it's a little blurry because it's very, very windy today. Very windy. We can't film on the main lake or anything too much. We are on the main lake, so we're not in the river or nothing. We're just trying to catch some bigger fish. So we're just gonna throw that out and just drag that on the bottom. Stay in the required depth where the fish are. So, all right, I don't see the fish right here at this place, but I'm gonna throw back just a little ways where I saw those fish and just let it go down and drag right through them. I'm just using a small 5-inch Yamamoto double tail. This is, just like I said, a medium with a fast action tip. I use all fast action tips here because of the amount of pressure that's at this lake. There's extremely tons of people that fish this lake, and this place was packed over the weekend. I was up here and oh shoot, there was a bite right there. I was talking, missed him. All right, see, he didn't even have it. He just had a little bit of the tail. You do catch small fish on this too, guys. Just because you're using a jig doesn't mean it's you know, a gigantic fish catcher, but it does. Jigs do catch bigger fish, and if you go out deeper, see, you can see that we're quite a ways from the shore. So we're going to fish in 18 to 30 feet of water, 35 feet of water. So we're after something a little bigger than the normal 12 inches or 13 inches or whatever. So I'm just letting this drift out a little bit more, and I'm hoping that I'll find some rocks out here. You can see on the shore that these rock piles, you got rock, sand, all the way down. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm hoping that this is going to be the same way out here in 20 foot of water. So we're just going to drag this along. Now we checked our apps this morning for the barometer and the pressure. We have steady pressure at 29.83, and it shows that it's steady pressure all day long. We did not get an early start today, so in case you're thinking we're here bright and early, it's not. It's just a nice day. It's only going to peak at about 88 degrees up here, 87 degrees at Bartlett today. It's a little cold front coming in, so we're just staying deeper so that in case the pressure is high, we're going to just avoid that. So, all right, we're starting to see a few more fish out here. I'm in the 20-foot level. I think I told you I only use a few basic colors on these jigs. Green pumpkin, watermelon. I use a watermelon candy, which is a number 301. And sometimes I use 330 with copper. Okay, So we're out here a little deeper now, and we're bumping the bottom. There we go. First fish. So in 20 feet of water, I don't reel it in and water ski the thing in. She's pulling my pole pretty good, but it doesn't feel like a giant, but it's bigger than the little ones. So I'm just gonna bring it up nice and slow. There she is. Well, that's not bad. That's a pretty good fish. Not too bad at all. Oh boy, did you see how easy that came out? So that's basically a Yamamoto double tail jig, you know. That's a nice little fish. I'm gonna put her in the well just so we can take a few pictures of that and talk about that later on. So, all right, so we caught our first fish. Not too bad. Probably was close to 2 pounds, but I don't leave them out of the water too much. And but anyway, basically tungsten weight, 1/4, and a 1/0 hook. If you're gonna jig fish Texas rigs, you need a 1/0 hook. Don't make it a 2 or 3 because it will not fit on that Yamamoto jig. You can see right now that my hook is right at the very, very end of the jig where it starts. So let's make another cast here. And we'll just throw that in like this. And we'll just work this along. You know, if I'm not looking at fish on my graph, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna keep moving. So if I come through and I graph an area, I graphed this area a little while before I started here. So we're in 21 feet of water right now, folks. Barometric pressure is steady all day. There's no more showing any rises. There's no clouds in the sky. There's no fronts coming in. So it's just a steady pressure. Yesterday we had clouds, wind, and so that probably would have been a good day to fish because it would have been low barometer. So we're just gonna kind of, I'm judging that some of these little rock piles are gonna run out here this far. So that's what I'm hitting on the bottom. I'm just kind of bouncing over them. Just keep my trolling motor going and just keep it moving. Keep that bait right on the bottom. Good way to tell is just drop your rod, and if you see a lot of slack line there, then you know you're on the bottom. Okay, so this bottom seems to be like it's pretty normal. It's about 20, 21 feet, 19, 21 feet along here, so it's not too bad. I can run my trolling motor and I can keep this thing going, you know, just in the required depth. Just, if I ran off and it got too deep, you know, I would cast up and try to hit some of these more rocky points, but I can feel the rock down there. You want to be feeling rock. Tungsten will make you feel the rock a little bit better. So I ventured out just a little bit further, folks. I went out to 25, 26 feet. I'm seeing more fish out here deeper, so just bouncing it on the bottom. Just I kind of just shake my rod just to keep that sinker just bouncing. There's a bounce. Okay, there's one right there. Little one. He's not even pulling my rod very much, but I'm gonna reel him in slow anyway. He's just a little guy. He won't even jump to get out. He came out of some deeper water, but you could see that you could catch these things right on the very top of the mouth. So that's a small one. You normally don't catch them that small, you know, with a jig. So, but you do. This lake is full of full of small fish. That's why it's so much fun to fish. It's got a lot of fish on it. So I'm just gonna go right in the head of this again, just like that, just like a rubber worm. Slide that right up over the keeper part of the hook. It's a 1/0 hook. There you go. Nice and straight. Make your baits always straight. So let's see, there's a number of fish out here deep. So let's just kind of keep dragging this around. Keep trying a little bit deeper. You want to try shallow, you want to try deep, you want to try medium. Keep moving around until you see the fish and where they're congregated. This is just like brush hog fishing. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the same thing. It's just about the same, except you're using a Yamamoto jig, twin tail. Boy, there's a few fish on the bottom there. Man, come on, baby. You got to get it just in front of the right one. You know, it's not real fast like a flick shaker or Texas rig worm. You got to get this right, and if they're not that hungry, you got to just feed it to them. Just try to find 2 or 3 on the graph, or 4 or 5 of them. If you can find that, then you have your chance of catching a fish. All right, we're out in 31 feet of water, and I've got a number of fish on the graph, quite a few. So I'm just gonna kind of sit there and bounce it right on their heads. There's a hit right there. There we go. Now this one's bending the rod, so you can almost tell, you know, what fish, but this is 31 feet of water, so I'm gonna have to reel this little baby slow. Because if you reel this in right away and you get excited, it's gonna do nothing but give it the bends. And, oh, look at the size of this, folks. Check this out. This is a nice one. Whoa. This is a good fish. This is a good typical good jig fish here at Bartlett. Look at the size of that. That's a good one, isn't it? Ooh. Man, she doesn't want to quit. That's a good one. That's a nice typical jig fish. Hooked right in the top of the mouth. That's a nice one. Pretty good size, huh? Look at that. That's what you can get on a Yamamoto jig, twin tail. Hey, thanks for watching our show. We're gonna move on and try to catch some fish or locate some other fish on something else. So, thanks for subscribing to my channel. You guys have been doing a good job.